This is how fantastic life is. I just did a whole recording, poured out my soul, and you know what happens? The audio didn't record. It's all static. Now I did a check again. Let's see if it works. So I went on this whole rant and rave again, talking about life and its mysteries. And guess what? It's just very exciting. I can't fix the audio. I don't. I'm so lazy. Okay. What the whole point of me sitting down and doing this was that I wanted to announce that today has been 100 days that I didn't have a drink. It's the longest in the history of my life since I was 15 years old that I haven't had a beverage of alcohol. That's it. How do I feel? I feel crappy. You want to know the truth? Didn't sleep well. Ate some cabbage last night. My stomach hurt like crazy. Then I found out that cabbage is the hardest food to digest, along with broccoli. You know, even if you do cook it. So stomach ache is totally normal. Was up all night with a stomach. I thought that I ate like, and I cooked it thoroughly. I thought I poisoned myself, but no. It's just my body just like not being able to process a cabbage the size of my head. I was waiting all day yesterday for a FedEx package that never arrived and it came today instead. So, you know, it's just like one in my last clip that didn't work is that, and I mentioned before that the days like this, they're cold, they're long, and then this is like I can't imagine this is the worst time to embark on this journey. I should have done this a year ago when the weather was better and I didn't have a milestone birthday looming over me like an ice shelf like this big. But you know, this is what I did. You know, because my timing has been so atrocious. My whole existence, where I wake up every day and I'm like, you know, fuck. Because it's just like, you know, like you wake up and then every bad decision comes at you like a freight train. So, you know, chalk this up to another bad decision. I know most, you know, like the people that are in my sort of quote support structure, you know, they're like, oh yeah, that's great, you know, thumbs up, high five. They're proud of me. I don't feel proud. I feel flat. And it's because I didn't get enough rest and I woke up too early and I feel crappy today. But as I said before, you know, it's like flat soda. That was more after the flu, but still, you know, when I say like a color has been eliminated, yeah. So, and then going I'm going to so many art shows and studying art and studying these galleries, and working on new things and taking art in new directions. But it's surrounded by wine. There's wine just everywhere, and everyone making a beeline for the wine and the cheese like a bunch of vultures, and it makes me irritated. I can't partake. So like, you know, there's plenty of women at these shows, good-looking women too. I can't loosen up. There's like without that drink, I cannot approach anyone or anything. I cannot, you know, it's like if you give me like 4 or 5 glasses, then I'm like, you know, I turn into rock star mode, and I could just loosen up my lips and be able to do something. But I'm just really just studying the work, like almost like to the point of like crazy, like on the microscopic level. I stick my face like this close to the canvas and I check the sides, I check the wrapping, I check the stretching, I check the material, I look closely at the stuff, and everyone is just they're bullshitting drinking their wine. You know, it's like you want to know people that really love your work, don't serve wine and cheese. Give them a bunch of grape juice and like a bag of Cheetos and see how many people come to your show. That's the truth, because I hate it. You know, it's like it's just a bunch of people looking for a free drink because, you know, 4 or 5 glasses of wine at a nice place is going to cost you like $150 now. But you know, but they're pouring like, oh, the box wine is so cheap and just like, ugh, and I'm so sick of it. I'm like, does anybody even look at the work? And then a friend of mine was like, you know, like I was telling him about my plan. I'm trying to like really get into the meat and contact all these galleries. He's like, He's like, what's the point? It's like, why are you stressing yourself out to impress people when all these galleries do is just wash money? They don't care if you're good. They just want to be able to wash dirty money. So they'll put anybody up there. It's not going to be, don't be so happy if they say yes, and don't be disappointed if they say no. They're just washing drug money. And like, for the most part, he's probably right. So like I'm doing this like, yeah, art world is an honest business, and it's like gung ho, like like I want to be the best artist there is, and blah blah blah, and I'm doing all this oil painting right now, and human body, and it's like, wow, like 500 years too late as usual. um, but I feel it. I feel the confidence. I feel like, no, this is, it means something. It does mean something to be good, and it means something to have a strong narrative, and a concept, and how you want to like make like some of it a performance piece, some of it as an installation, some of it as an exhibition. And I really kind of want to make a nice presentation. I take it seriously. But then again, who's taking any of this seriously? You think these galleries all over here, like they go like, oh man, he's gonna come up with that, blow me away concept. Watch out for him. He's intelligent. He's not just doing parking meters anymore. And it's like, and then you kind of and then you kind of feel just stupid. I mean, I've spent a lot of time. I Funny thing is, like, I bought this very large door. Doors are cheaper than wood panels at Blick. Like, you could buy a big size, pretty much a 7 foot by 2 foot, 3 foot, like 7 foot by 2 foot door, giant panel, and you can paint on it. It's wood, and you like spray paint it. So I have it in my apartment because it's hard to bring it here. So like I painted it with white house paint, but it left all these grooves. So when I was doing my oil pastels, I was having problems with the grooves, and I wanted to paint this temple, and like this outside scene of this urban environment and how it bled into a temple. You'd have to be in my mind to really understand. Anyway, I was going to draw Shiva and all this stuff, and like it was looking terrible. So I brought the piece down into the backyard of the building. Then I spray painted it black. I blacked over the whole thing. And then I flipped it over, and I got some chrome paint, and I just painted the other side all chrome. And since, because it's long and like short on the side, whatever the dimensions, I was like, oh, let me paint a subway car. And I went and I painted this subway car like in this very rudimentary, childlike basket kind of like style. And I'm looking at it, I'm looking at it, I'm looking at it, and I wasn't feeling, and it was just looking crappy. And the reason I even bought the door, and the reason I was even doing it, is because on these days that I'm doing these maintenance days and I'm sitting all day in the apartment, it's making me crazy. So instead of hitting the bottle or something like that, or just going batshit, let me work on something. Let me work on something sizable to take up the time. Like when I was a kid, I used to play with my Legos and watching Dukes of Hazzard. So I was like doing two things at once. So I can just leave the TV on and then paint. So I was working on the subway car, and it looked terrible. It looked terrible. I didn't like it. So then I flipped the tour over back to the black side where I had the original piece. So like first I painted it white with house paint. Then I spray painted it black. So now I had this all black surface that was like slick, and I like it when it's slick. And I woke up like at 5 in the morning, and like I felt like, I put out my hand like this, my right arm, and I'm like, you know what? I'm stretching out my arm to look for help, right? And I want to get that visual of like my arm stretched out looking for someone to grab it. So I have the fingers like and thumb cut off at the ends of the piece, and I drew a big veiny fleshy hand, just all muscly and whatever, to kind of really give that feeling of like someone trying to reach, and like the hand is exceeding its grasp through the work. I mean, it's nothing revolutionary, but I'm a big fan of like that Baroque and Romantic period, and like I like the fleshy beings of the old days, the drama. It's a very dramatic arm. It's like just like, and I bought more oil, really. I like love really greasy pastels. I like rubbing it in and like, and I looked at my veins and I tried to duplicate the veins on my right arm exactly to the work to give it this power, you know. And so first I started with the temple, flip it over. Then I tried to do a subway car, flip it over, and then I wind up doing my right arm. This is and all the masters, what they've done, they always recycled their canvases and things that didn't work. So, you know, but where's this all going? Anyway, that's what I've been doing as a study, and probably I'll do more of it, I guess, later. All right, let's see if this came out, because I'll be very upset if it doesn't.